Hey there, and welcome to the brand new show of Rule Breaking Ideas. I am Phil Bowyer, and today we are talking about productivity. Actually, all month we're going to be talking about productivity and how you can become more productive in what you do. And today I am joined by my beautiful wife, Kate Bowyer, who is an author, a writer. She mostly does fiction, but she was compelled to write a book that is actually nonfiction. And we'll get into what that book is and all that good stuff here. But she's been writing for a while now, a couple years, but she's been struggling in getting towards her destination. And we're going to dive right into it. Hey, Kate. Welcome
Hello.
to the brand new rule breaking show here.
Well, I'm very happy to be here.
Yes. Oh, and I should mention too that this is Kate's very first hangout on air. So
Yes.
be merciful. And we spent some time getting her all acquainted with the Hangouts technology and all that good stuff. So we're going to have some fun tonight. If you guys are watching this either live or in the replay, we will be taking questions, so if you have a question, throw it in on the event page. I'll be tracking that. And if you're watching this after the fact, still do that, and we'll come back later and answer any questions that come in after the show's over. So let's dive right in. First of all, tell everybody what the title of your book is, because that'll lead right into what we're going to talk about.
Okay, it's How I Quit Email and Followed My Dreams.
Okay. And tell us about, right now what we're going to do, we're going to take you guys on a little bit of a journey of Kate's experience on trying to write, trying to get towards her destination, and everything that entails. So tell everybody, Kate, what your struggle was.
Well, I had a lot of struggles, but when I sat down recently, a few months ago, and really thought about, okay, what's stopping me? Why am I not getting the writing in that I want to do? And I realized it was kind of like a light bulb moment that it was email. And there's a lot of other things too, but email was the biggest culprit. I looked at my days and saw mornings, after I got up, the first thing I do is check email. On the weekends, the first thing I do is check email. And that may not seem like a big deal, but when I sat down and really looked at what was happening with that, I saw it wasn't just going through email. It was clicking on an email. It was following, they had part of a blog post and said, here, to read the rest, click here. It was following it to their webpage. It was then seeing, oh, look at, they have this other post that looks really interesting. Or, hey, look at, they're recommending to use this, and I'll go over here. So it was going from an email to a website to another website to subscribing to newsletters to, I could, off of one email, I could easily spend a half an hour just from that email on to other things.
So you had all these rabbit holes that you got sent on, and
yes.
Okay.
And when you have, I have now unsubscribed from about 90 different places. Everything from, Target to blogs to, everything. I could not believe I had that many, but I did, and that's what was coming in every day and sometimes multiple times during the week.
Okay. Now, I know you kept track of this for, you use your own experiences as part of the research for your book. So talk about kind of your methodology as you went through that. How, what I guess, what were your criteria for getting rid of an email, for unsubscribing to a newsletter?
It was pretty simple. It had to change my life or be something so good that it changed my life, basically. I didn't need any more those Target emails, the Best Buy emails constantly. Those didn't do anything for me. it had to do something for me. And I'm not saying that every single time it had to be brilliant, but for the most part, it had to be something that I loved, that I needed to know about, and that could possibly change my life.
Okay. And so, let's get into where you are now since you've done all this work and you've got rid of all these emails. Where are you right now? How many emails or newsletters do you subscribe to now?
About 4.
About 4.
Yes. And I have to say that they all pretty much deal with recipes and, and health related things, because that's where I'm at right now. It could change in 6 months, but they are all ones that I love and have gotten things out of in the past. So actually, to tell the truth, it's actually kind of sad because now when I see my email in the morning, if I look at it in the morning, I only have like 2. And it's crazy, but you start to feel like, well, wait a minute, doesn't anybody love me? Why aren't I getting all these emails? And then it's a very emotional thing that you would not think would happen until you don't get any emails.
So before you went through all this, how much time were you spending on email?
Easily an hour a day during the week, if not a little bit more. The weekends, I usually reserve more time for it. So I could spend 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Okay. And where are you at right now? How much time have you broken that down to now?
Maybe 5 minutes during the week, maybe 10, 15 minutes on the weekend.
Wow.
It's not just the fact of unsubscribing from a huge amount, but it's also that I've learned to train myself of what I want to do with these emails. Where do they belong? And opening them right away, knowing when I want to get into my email so I have the time to open it, delete it, read it, do whatever I need to do with it, and get out.
So you actually schedule email. You don't necessarily keep it open all the time. You actually go into your email box when you're going to set time, when you're actually going to do the email and make time for it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. At least I try to 99% of the time. It's a very bad habit to break.
Mm-hmm.
We're so used to it. I mean, and this is something I'm writing in the book. One of the chapters is about email stalking us. It's on my phone. I have my phone with me all the time. You hear the little ding, and it's like, oh, I should look at this right now. That 1% is hard to break.
Very, very tempting to. We have these phones with us, all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's easy to be chained to that email or even social media.
Yeah.
So how has this changed? Well, how has this changed your productivity?
It's really freed me. It has made it so my mornings where I used to do email, I get up and the mornings have always been my creative time. So now when I get up, I do my writing, or I create, posts, or anything creative that I want to do and work on. That's what I'm doing. And so that means I'm actually getting things done. I'm moving forward. Even if it's just a little bit each day, by the end of the week, I can say, wow, I went from, this on Monday to, this on Friday. And I got it done.
Awesome. Jessica Doyle in the comments says that she's been known to check email before she gets out of bed on some days.
You know what? I have not done that, but I have checked it before going to sleep at night. So just the opposite end. But yeah, it's a very hard habit that I don't think any of us realize what we're doing. I didn't realize it, and I don't even know why I thought of it. I think it was because I really sat down and just thought, what is stopping me in the morning from writing or doing whatever creative thing I want to do? And when I
Just
ask
asking
myself
that
that,
question,
yeah,
asking yourself the tough questions. We can't really read it, but in behind you on your chalkboard, you have all kinds of different, I don't know what you'd call them, sayings, inspirational things,
hmm
even a few ideas and things. You know, does that help you? Um, does that keep you from opening email when you look at that?
it
Does it
does.
help keep you on track and go, okay, no, screw that, I'm going to go work
It
on
really does.
this?
It focuses me, and it's everything. It's pretty much what I need for myself. So it would be different for everybody. I mean, it might be similar for some people, but it's what I need to look at, to focus, to motivate myself, and it does really help. Did you want me to share what's on there, or
If you want to, you
okay?
can share a couple things.
Well, I have for myself my number one thing is act on instincts, and that's something that I know for me I've ignored for a long time. And when I thought of this book, when I realized what my problem was in the mornings, was spending too much time on email, not getting writing done. Um, that's when the title of the book actually popped into my head. And I ran over to my chalkboard because I've been known to forget things, and I wrote it down as quick as I could, and it's still up there. So I acted on my instinct. And from then on, from that day that I thought of the title of the book, I've been doing something with the book every day. So I've been just trying to act on those instincts. Uh, I have the why shouldn't I? Because too many times we think, I overthink things. I want to say, no, don't do that or whatever. And when I look at why shouldn't I love that because that just focuses me once again. Like, yeah, why shouldn't I? And then that kind of leads into acting on my instinct. So that's a couple of them.
Cool.
A
And I
couple
was
of my
going to ask you
favorites.
something, and I totally forgot what it was. The beauty of live TV. Okay, so the email thing, getting rid of email, could easily be applied to anything you're struggling with. We had a question come in the other day. Copeland Richards, and that guy he's a crazy dude. I saw him on a hangout yesterday. He's a crazy guy. But he asked if this could be applied towards Facebook and other social media. And my opinion is yes. I think email is was your deal, but email
Mm-hmm.
could easily be interchanged with Facebook, with Google Plus for a lot of us, for anything really, whatever it is. Some people might exercise too much. Whatever is holding you back from getting forward, you know, um, it can be interchanged. And our dogs are barking like mad again. They always like to be on these shows.
And I don't understand when it's like 2 degrees outside, who they're barking at, who's out there
Yeah.
walking around. But um,
um,
exactly. And you know what? Going on that, currently right now in the forward of my book, I actually say that. I say, listen, this was my problem email. This was my biggest problem. Feel free to take this title and change it to what you need it. How I quit, over exercising, or how I quit, you know,
Watching
being on
TV.
right and followed my dreams. Because for me, I realized, yeah, I have problems, but my biggest problem, what was stopping me, the biggest one was email. And I think focusing on the biggest one is a lot easier than trying to fix everything at once. And it kind of ends up, being a domino effect by tackling the big one first.
Cool. Okay, so not only did the book help you, or the realizing that email was holding you back in the idea for the book, not only did it help you with that, with being more productive that way, but it also changed the way you yourself are marketing yourself. So
Hmm.
let's talk about that a little bit. What are you doing that's different than what a lot of people are doing?
Well, for one, if you go to howiquitemail.com, you will not see, you know, give me your email address. You will not see that anywhere on there. I don't want it. So, you know, keep it. Um, but what I want is the interaction with the people out there. If they're interested in what I'm doing, if they have questions, they want to know more. Instead, I have Google comments right there. And I don't have a regular blog that, most people might have up there. You might think, oh, I might be talking about the hardships of email up there. No. Instead, thanks to you, you and I sat down one day and brainstormed, and how can we do this different? That's another one of my questions I asked myself. And we came up with this idea of the would you rather game. Because I know I would rather be doing a lot of other things than email, because a lot of times email is not always fun. It seems more like a chore, like filing to me. Not that I ever file, but back in the old days. So, every week we, are releasing a new, would you rather do this? Would you rather check your email or do this? And so it's just all about the discussion with people. It's about the interaction right there. Not with sending an email and then, you getting notifications or emails from me once a week or once a month and stuff like that. No, I want to be interacting with people right away.
So let's talk about the structure of the would you rather page and the site in general of what you're doing here. So basically what you're doing is taking a video on YouTube. So these are videos that you don't create. These are other people's
Mm-hmm.
videos, but they're inspirational videos, or we've taken the video and put a certain context around it, so to align with the message of the would you rather. So you have usually a little explanation up top, and
Mm-hmm.
then the video that people watch. Most of them are fairly short. Some are longer than others, but and then you ask the question. You ask the
Right.
question of would you rather check email or do whatever the subject of the video is.
Mm-hmm.
And then below that, we have Google Plus comments, which allow you that instant engagement of having that conversation. You can then follow people on Google Plus and build, further the relationship there. And it's a lot more dynamic, a lot more fluid than an email. Emails tend to be one-sided. I know some people,
Mm-hmm.
I've even tried this to say, hey, let me know, what you're doing. Chris Brogan, for instance, he says, I'm drinking, whatever. What are you drinking? And he wants you to respond to that. And to his credit, he does respond. I actually took him up on that and responded one time. And he did respond rather quickly, which I was shocked. So there are some people that are trying to make that email more engaging and more conversational, but it's very, very difficult. And I still believe that email is somewhat impersonal to these days when compared to what we like right now. What we have here, we
Mm-hmm.
have face-to-face communication. We can talk, video chats. I mean, email just seems so, you know, 20 years ago to me.
Well, and I sort of separate it from work and personal. So this book is really for me mainly the personal side. I had way too many personal type, hobby type, or whatever type things, emails that were coming in. And you're right, it's impersonal because it is one-sided. Um, and why follow someone on G Plus and also get an email weekly from them?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost double duty. I'd rather have those interactions daily, weekly, whatever it is with you on G Plus. And you're going to know a lot more about me. You're going to know a lot more, and not maybe sit there and get the email and have it sit there in your inbox. And you're like, okay, I'll get to that, when I have time. And it sits there and it sits there. and this is also something I talk in the book, and I call it the haunting. And it's just this email that's like every time you open your inbox, it's like, boo, I'm still here. And you're just like, fine, and so, yeah, the interaction, I think, is the best way to go.
Right. So let's get sidetracked just a little bit and talk about doing something different. We talked about the Would You Rather, which is a replacement for having a blog, essentially. You're also going to be doing something interesting once this series of Would You Rathers is done. Tell everybody what you're going to be doing there, which kind of ties back into email and the interaction that we were just talking about.
After the Would You Rathers are up, then I'm going to be doing hangouts about the different chapters of my book. So we're going to go from the blog to face-to-face, so written communication to face-to-face. I don't know. I think that was it. It's pretty simple, but...
So again, instead of just emailing people and letting them know, hey, or even you can get a free preview chapter of my book, you're actually going to be doing a series of, and there's going to be one hangout per chapter, right?
Right.
So people will be able to interact with the book in a way that you really can't do through email, because it is going to be that face-to-face thing, and you're going to be able to have that live interaction, much like we're doing now. We can take comments from people posting, and
right.
That kind of thing. So.
Right, definitely. No, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So, what else have you learned from getting rid of email? Have you found before you were talking about how you picked the one big thing? Have you noticed yourself kind of using that now that behavior has changed so much that it's bleeding into other areas that you were struggling with, like social media or other things?
It does, because another problem for myself is that I'm a huge procrastinator, and giving myself kind of this set of rules how to deal with email, like I was saying earlier, I know going in what I'm going to do with it, has helped me then in other places, because now I'm doing more forward thinking and I'm acting on it. So I don't have all this stuff in my head that's sitting there going, oh, well, I'm going to have to eventually do this, and I'm going to have to do that. And, my head space now is a lot more clear because I'm getting stuff done. So that's helped a lot. And it's also been the fact that I've learned to sometimes wait on things again until it's the proper time when I can give it the attention it deserves. That's again, kind of going back to the phones. Our phones sit there and notify us for everything from, a new tweet to an email to the weather changing and all that stuff. And I've been trying to not always just jump when my phone notifies me about something. I'm trying to break free of it having these chains over me. And honestly, I haven't had a smartphone, as long as a lot of other people. So I can't imagine how it is for other people.
Okay. So last question, something we kind of skipped over, and I want to make sure that we covered it. We talked about that you actually took the time and went through and unsubscribed and basically did a massive spring cleaning of your email. Can you kind of walk people through exactly what you did and maybe how long that took you?
It took me about 2 weeks, and I'm actually even almost every day still unsubscribing, so that number keeps going up. It was basically every single day when I opened my email, I would ask myself the question, does this newsletter change my life? What does it do for me? And if I could say no, especially right away, I just unsubscribed right then and there. It did take time. It definitely was a spring cleaning, even though it was wintertime, but it was definitely worth it. And like I said, now still to this day, and that was like 2 months ago, something like that. I'm still unsubscribing, and you can do it whichever way you want. If you want to do it like I did, just go all in and try to get through as many as you can. Great. And if you just want to do it as they trickle in, you can do it that way too. I try to let the emails kind of bulk up and have a whole bunch, so that way I could just sit down at one time and go through them and unsubscribe and stuff. But if you don't have that kind of time, just take it day to day. It's going to take a while, but it's definitely worth it.
Cool. So how can people find you out there on the internets?
Well, they can find me on G Plus at Kate Bowyer. I do have a page also for How I Quit Email. And so that's on G Plus, that page. And I have the website, howiquitemail.com. And right
Twitter?
now, my Twitter, yes, Kate Bowyer. And I think that's it, because my own Kate Bowyer website is not quite up and running yet. So I would say stick with especially G Plus and Twitter, or also on the How I Quit Email page or website.
And we have both the website and the page linked on the event page. So if you head on over to the event page in the details, we have both those linked up for you. And we'll throw the link to your Twitter account over there for anybody that wants to follow you over there. You're a lot like me, though. You forget about Twitter because we've been so G plus so much that
yeah, so focused.
Yeah, we're both trying to get into the whole Twitter thing a little more. But awesome. So once again, if anybody has any comments, if you're watching this on the replay, any feedback, any questions or anything, post them on the event page. We'll come back and check them out, and we'll chat with you that way. So this has been Rule Breaking Ideas, where I'm going to give you ideas on how you can break some rules, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, Kate, for coming on, and your first ever hangout on air.
Yes, as the dogs say goodbye to. Goodbye and thank you.
All right, see ya.